Before you guys started using mobile phones, we've been using computers way back. In those days when computers were Pentium 1, Pentium 2 and the rest of them, desktop and the rest of them, we've been using computers before the advent of Android phones. So nobody can cyberbully me, especially when it comes to BMW matters.
On today's episode, we are JD Authors with the only man that speaks the truth no matter the cost. People say that he's very aggressive, but to me, he's only aggressive when he wants to speak the truth. And you know, in Nigeria, people don't like the truth. They always come for you. It's no other person than Mr. MATTEY.
Okay, Amaga, Happy New Year.
I wish you the best.
The last time we sat on this podcast was sometime last year, where we had to take on if you want to buy a car, some of things that put loose on your car.
Like the advice
we talked about generally. In fact, you know, funny enough, for the first time, you're the person that made me talk about other cars. You understand? And when I spoke about the very controversial one is when I said Headlight is also a load.
Seriously?
And I saw loads of people coming to me. And then some came with attack without actually taking a look at the full video.
Yeah.
Some came to attack because they have their fingers are suffering
it's
from.
Actually free to use
their fingers are suffering from diarrhea. you know, they came with attack, but it's okay. Even though our page does not support violence, but they will meet us there because the truth is
you cannot avoid it.
Yes, the truth is
you can't avoid it.
Before you guys started using mobile phones, we've been using computers way back. In those days when computers were Pentium 1, Pentium 2 and the rest of them, desktop and the rest of them, we've been using computers before the advent of Android phones. So nobody can cyberbully me.
Exactly.
Especially
you have the thick skin.
Especially when it comes to BMW matters. You know, you see people that are music.
I saw comment like, this man speaks as if he's the owner of as if he's the BMW himself. I was like,
that is how veterans talk. When you are a veteran, when you're an authority in what you do, you will speak authoritatively. That's how it works. You cannot be an authority in something and you are talking like a chicken. Exactly. How will people believe you?
Exactly.
You understand? I see people coming online to talk to me, and when I go to their profile, they only have just 3 individuals following them. And when you check
and they are following millions.
And when you check at what they have done so far to impact the society, nothing. They just post pictures of themselves wearing agbada and canvas. Imagine that kind of dressing. Some say they are music composers and they want to come and engage me in BMW talks. Okay. Not be getting me that. Let's go.
As an expert in automotive industry, like, you dish out the truth, and whether they like it or not, you dish only but the truth. I have like a question that I want to ask. I've heard many car owners and even mechanics, like, they will be like that Tokumbo is actually better than brand new, both in reliability, both in everything. So like, I want you to like really educate us from your expertise.
Okay. You see, here at JD Autos, there is nothing about automobile that we've not treated.
Exactly.
I'm sure we're going to go back to this now because of the new followers. But honestly, if there's any topic we are trashing now, we have done it before. Anybody again who tells you that Tokumbo is better than new, the person know well. Because you don't get how Tokumbo, fairly used, will be better than new.
Brand new. But in as much as...
Listen, there are different kinds of parts in the market.
Yeah, we are coming down to that one.
Yes, because, I mean, we're talking about Tokumbo now.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me that you bought this car, Tokumbo, and this car will be better than a brand new one. When you talk about OEM, original equipment manufacturer, the brand new original from the factory, that's fairly used, that's actually, the lifespan is almost going, is better than new. It's not a logical thinking. But again,
and the fairly used is not Nigerian fairly used.
It doesn't matter whether it's a Japanese used or Korean used or Kenyan used. A fairly used is a fairly used. In fact, why is it even called fairly used? It's because you ripped it up from a car that the owner meticulously maintained the car.
Yeah.
Some Tokumbos are hopelessly used Tokumbos. Do you understand? Some Tokumbos are hopelessly used Tokumbos. And again, you when this video broke now, you still see some people coming online to talk trash. It doesn't matter. Okay,
in as much as you said the brand new is better than Tokumbo, I know that there are still like advantages of the Tokumbo over the brand new. Can you like...
There is no advantage between a Tokumbo and the new. This is what people are doing. You compare an original item that's been used in a car with all the so-called with all the so-called Chinese and Aspanda manufactured new items. Then the Tokumbo will begin to have, you know, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is actually the king.
Yeah.
So you now bring a fairly used item from a car that is original. I mean, that part was coming from the factory, is original. And you want to compare with the Newi or probably the Aspanda or the Ladipo kind of new one. That is when you begin to say the Tokumbo is better than new one. But if you just oppose Tokumbo with the new that we all know that is new, Tokumbo has no advantage. The only advantage that Tokumbo has is in Nigeria here, where poor souls who want to invest.
Okay, you know, in the last series, he talked about, like, if you want to purchase a car, that you have to go with an automotive engineer or mechanic, somebody that knows so much about it. So, and that brings me to the question of today. Considering the situation of Nigeria right now, for you to buy like good thing, original thing, like, it takes the grace of God, right? So I want to know, if you want to buy car parts like engine, just name them. Do you also need to go with like engineer or like a mechanic, like, or you have to just go on your own and, you know, purchase it?
Okay, see, in a society where things work, where there are laws, you know that you do the wrong thing, you will go in for it.
Yeah.
These things are actually cast in stone. They are like autopilot. You know, for instance, there are certain countries where you visit and you want to buy things. You don't need to go with anybody because they are sincere. You just go there and they sell you things as it is. But in this part of the climb where everybody, this is Nigeria, Africa is a Kruger National Park where lion will eat lion if care is not taken. So if the care is not taken, so you don't go to our market, particularly the Ladipo market, wanting to buy an engine without the knowledge of somebody who understands what it is to buy an engine.
When I mean car parts, it's not only the engine, like you want to buy any part of
whatever
cars.
part you want to buy. Let me even tell you what they do in the market these days. You know, so many years ago, I talked about engine oil right here at JD Autos.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that our engine oils have been adulterated somewhere. A lot of people asked me to shut up. But just a few weeks ago, the Sun, Standard Organization of Nigeria, went in there and they busted people.
Containers, drums, and cartons of sealed engine oil. Virtually all the major engine oils in Nigeria are being adulterated here and resold as original products to Nigerians. Adulterated lubricants for car engines, motorcycles and generators worth millions of naira were confiscated by the enforcement team of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, when it broke into some shops in the Aspanda market. Leading the task force team is Issa Sulaiman, who is in charge of surveillance and monitoring. He said that the illicit act has continued to ruin the nation's economy by contributing to the increase of job losses, unemployment, forced closure of manufacturing companies, and a decline in the standard of products.
There are quite a number of locations where these illegal activities are going on. We have seized the products that we saw, and we've also arrested the people that we saw in the act. This is a very big problem, and the DG has interest in it. And he directed that all units of SON that are monitoring these products should act and minimize the activities to the barest minimum. So you see the whole of this area, this is where at Aspanda, this is, United Aspanda.
These people are so confident that, you know what they do? They brand this oil and right in your presence, they printed the stickers, particularly the BMW, because that's the vehicle I speak for all the time. You see them, they bring all this transmission oil and they print stickers in their shops. So they bring these containers, you know what they do? They pour these things and they begin to stick it to them.
Wow.
I have seen a dealer printing Lemfolder tag on suspension parts.
Wow.
So whatever thing you want to do now in this country that has to do with automobile, please don't go. Particularly, there are some customers who use this very nasty language. I don't want to hear that language. They tell you, I have a friend that brings it in. Who dirty friend? You tell them the price.
How would you trust the friend? Do you even trust yourself?
In fact, if you're listening to me, let me even give you some price of some of these things. If you want to buy the spark plug, Delphin coils, for BMW. That is for the BMW M55 engine and for the BMW N20, N26 engine. Delphine coils are 73,000 something kobo at dealership. Meanwhile, they will sell you brand new one at Ladipo for maybe 20k, and you think you are buying original. Water pump for BMW right now, electric water pump for the M55 engine is about 800 and something thousand. The last I bought was 400 and something. And somebody will tell you, I want to sell it for you for 150,000 naira. And you go send a new one and see if it's original. Are you okay? So, if you want to bypass this time around, no matter how well you think you know, it is better you employ the services of somebody who understands this part. And these things are not cast in stone. I mean, it must not be your mechanic. But again, I'm not going to blame the owners of the car. Because they're going to tell you, say, some mechanic, they like make you buy parts for them. No! No, there's nothing like that. If you know you want to buy your part and you want to buy something good, fine, you go buy them. But if the mechanic says it's not original and you see that he uses it, then he goes ahead. Anything that happens, you take the cost.
Take the blame.
Yeah.
Okay. From our last videos, we've been faced with questions like that people that want BMW owners that want to like upgrade their car just like other brands do. And being an expert in this BMW stuff and all of that, what advice do you have for them, like for people that want to upgrade their BMW? Okay,
if you want to upgrade your BMW from what to what, first of all, you must understand that if you want to upgrade your BMW, the wrongest person to talk to is MATTEY. Because I am a pure enthusiast. If you want to upgrade your BMW, sell the BMW and buy Lexus or Toyota. Those are the cars that are upgradable. This idea of going to buy bumper and fix in a front BMW and say you converted from 2004 to 2024. I don't understand it. What kind of dirty upgrade is that? So I am the wrongest person to talk to. I do not upgrade. I don't modify vehicles.
Okay, you don't advise that.
I don't advise it, and I don't modify vehicles because there's a lot of things. Let me even give you an instance. For instance, this is the 650 Li. It runs on the M55 engine. Now, if you want to upgrade this car to say 2018, all right, you need to change the headlight for it to look like that. Yes. The headlight runs on different modules. So, in fact, to start with, even a 2008 BMW that decided to change the bulbs from the regular bulb to the LEDs, okay, the module is going to notice that you've done something. So it's going to trigger on your dashboard. All right. So I don't complicate matters because I want to keep my life nice, decent, and simple. So I don't do that.
Okay. And that brings me to the question, like, what's the safest way to jumpstart a BMW?
Okay, BMW, irrespective of where it's facing, has 2 outlets to jumpstart. But before we go into jumpstarting, let me even tell you something about batteries.
Okay.
Every sound battery, when it is not plugged into energy consuming item, is supposed to give you 12.5 volts. Now, when you start the car for a BMW, it should take you to about 13.5, 14. All right? Now, sometimes there is something that is called load drain in batteries.
Okay.
And what is load drain? Load drain. Again, let me also point out that for the fact that your battery starts your car, every morning you go to the car, you crank, and it starts the car. It does not mean that your battery is okay.
Okay, yes.
Some batteries are, when they get hot, they will no longer start the car. But when you allow the battery to cool down, it will start starting the car. It just shows that the cells inside the battery compartment is beginning to go bad. So, some batteries do what is called load drain. And load drain means the battery can be reading 12.5. And the moment you crank, instead of moving up, it goes straight down to about maybe like 6 or 7 volts and then takes time to get to like 13. And when you off the car and keep it for some time, you begin to see that it depletes. Okay? So to jumpstart cars like BMW, you need a jumper cable. A very quality jumper cable. Not these ones they sell in traffic that when you crank 2 times, they will get hot. Such jumper cables can actually do what is called feedback onto your car and destroy some control units on your car. Wow. So you jumpstart from the battery terminal, which is located in the boot, either at the floor of the boot or by the left-hand side of the boot, depending on the car model. Now, there's also an outlet in front. The moment you open your bonnet, you will see the positive terminal covered with a red tag, and you can actually place your negative wire on any of the body of the car, but also there's also an outlet. There you can jumpstart. Now, for those of you that uses the electrical jump starters, those small ones that looks like a scanner. Okay. You need to be very careful, because some of those things, when they go bad, they do what they send power surge. So the moment you use them, they send too much voltage to the car system. So if the IVM, which is the integrated vehicle module, does not take it, or the starter charge module does not take it, it will bypass them and destroy certain components like the FRM and the rest of them in the vehicle.
Sorry that I want to cut you short. Like, is this also applicable to other cars like Lexus, Toyota, and the rest of them?
Well, common sense and critical reasoning suggests that it should apply to every other cars. When you want to jumpstart your car, make sure that you're using the right thing. But for the German brands, there are outlets where you can jumpstart. But it's also nice, before you jumpstart, don't be in a hurry. Make sure that you're matching the positive to positive and negative to negative. You know, so that's what it is.
Okay, you know that, like, you said that you wouldn't advise anybody to upgrade a car, but the truth remains that people upgrade their car, even politicians, just name celebrities upgrade their cars too. So what's one thing that you advise anybody that wants to upgrade car, generally, not BMW, let's just put BMW aside, what's one thing that you would tell them to, like, keep in mind before upgrading your car?
Amaka, now poor man and they say start to bitter. I know the upgrade vehicle, and I know if you advise anybody to, I know if you advise you to do what I know sabi and what I know believe in. I don't upgrade cars. I do not, because it comes with its own challenges. I have seen people upgrading cars. They will cut the chassis of the car, then merge it together, weld, sandpaper, and paint. It comes out clean. When you take that car to the road and that car goes into bumps, and they'll start to fall off one after the other. Which politician, with all the money they thief, they don't buy a brand new car? They upgrade for what? Politicians
actually do.
I remember them get out.
You know, in the last video, that headlight being a load, you said that headlight is a load to a car.
Everything you do to a car will take fuel.
Okay.
If you increase the size of your tires, it will take fuel. Okay. If you modify your exhaust, it will take fuel. If you give load to the car,
like, it will take more fuel. Yes,
it will take more fuel. If you give more load to the car, it will take more fuel. And what is a load to the car? Load to the car does not only mean when you load up your boot. Carrying passengers is also load. Increasing the tire size of your car is load.
Wow.
Adding AC is load. Engaging your gearbox is load. Turning on the headlights are loads. So these things takes fuel.
And it sparked a lot of controversy. Like, when I mean a lot. So, like, can you throw more emphasis? Because even myself, like, the thing still do me somehow.
Well,
headlight being a load to a car.
Amaka, the thing is, there is no controversy about it. The reason why it generated so much controversy because it was a very basic truth hidden under the book. You understand? And honestly, I'm so happy. I am so happy that most of the people who came online to actually support that claim did not even do justice to that claim. They did more justice. They did more justice to the claim than even myself. So at some point, I decided not to talk anymore. Some said one guy came. I don't forget that guy's name. That guy Mumu go. Mumu.
Let's start again.
You know, I don't know why that guy Mumu like that. That guy Mumu. He came and was talking trash. There's a guy that is called T Hills. Look at how I engaged T Hills. Look at how we engaged ourselves. I mean, logical. And at the end of the day, she said, even though you never to believe, but you go do research. That's how to disagree. You don't just come and begin to throw your ignoramus frontal. It is sickening. It makes me want to throw up. Now, headlight na load, whether you like them or not. They say na battery, they control headlight. I agree saying na battery. They say if you off your car, say if you off car, put on the headlight, say the motor, the light go still dey show. Say as that, if not so, then how come headlight take the load? They forget, say, just like one guy, you see, I'm going to be jotting down the names of these people where they make sense online, and I'm going to be giving them Octane Plus and Valve Clean. I mean, from today henceforth, anybody will make critical analysis of my post. Yeah, you can insult me, but at the end of the day, if I say you make sense, you go get one Octane. Now, don't just frown your face on Octane. Some of you know if you buy Octane Plus. Octane Plus right now is about 9,000 naira.
Even if it's 5,000.
For something that is less than 1 liter. So, I mean, again, if you're not an enthusiast, if you're not an auto fanboy, you no go know what Octane Plus mean. or probably a valve clean. So no be on a fault. So now the guy, one guy, I go find that guy name and I need to give that guy an Octane Plus. I go call him and I go give him Octane Plus.
We'll go through the comments.
The guy now said, okay, fine, we agree. Even if headlight no be load, headlight needs the battery to work. The battery needs an alternator to charge the headlight. The alternator is like a dynamo. You know, you still small. I don't know where they use that bicycle, whether they use a rally, white horse. You know. So the alternator is like a dynamo. It needs the engine to spin the alternator to generate maybe mechanical energy to electrical energy and also charge the battery. So the moment you turn on the headlight and it keeps sapping the battery, the alternator needs to refill the juice. You understand?
Now you come now. Now you explain well, because that time like you were just so like, how would headlight?
Because they know questions. Anyway, maybe for JD Auto followers, that's why when I get 150 million followers, me I have just less than 3,000 followers. You know why? Because they just come and look at fine things and just talk and come out. If you're following cars at rest, by default you must get sense.
Exactly. I've gone through your page.
You've gone through my page. By default you must get sense, because one, to start with it, everybody that uses a BMW knows little about everything and everything about little. I'm going to repeat this again. Everybody out there that uses a BMW knows little about everything and everything about little. So that's why when you get to my page, you see I have just less than 3,000 followers. But with JD Autos, JD Autos have 1 million. That's why you see some eggheads, some people with their head, you get what way knows be like this thing. They can't tell me, say, make I go a dedicated driving school. Imagine a BMW mechanic, make I go dedicated driving school.
BMW 5.
So you know, the thing get as it be. So that's how light they take fuel. So when the battery demand, every battery has what is called the IBS, intelligent battery system. That's what tells the car when the battery is coming down or overcharging or undercharging or charging well. That is why for the BMW brand, you don't just buy your battery and just go and change and keep driving. No. Once you put your battery in the BMW, you have to do what is called battery registration. And what is battery registration? You're going to tell the car whether the battery you're putting is still the same as the one there before. Is this still same OEM or AGM or whatever? Is this the same capacity of 100 amps or 120 amps? Because not be every BMW they use 100 amps. Some BMW they use 110, some na 100, some na even 90. So when you tell them, you go tell the car, say na 90 I put or na the 100 already there before, so that the car will know how to charge. That's the work of the IBS. All right. So when the battery starts running down as a result of what the headlight is doing, or every electrical item, all right, then it will prompt the alternator and the car to charge more. And once the alternator wants to charge more, that means the vehicle RPM will go higher. And once the vehicle RPM goes higher, that means your car is taking more fuel.
See, you sabi book.
I sabi the work.
That's the connections between headlights, you know, being a load to a car.
Exactly. And once it's a load to a car,
so you guys can go make your research before attacking an innocent man. So you talked about that last time. You said that every car you see in this workshop, that the seat belts senior the car.
Yes.
So what's of like in some cases like the seat belts, the year on the seat belt.
Let me clear. Let me. You see,
so how?
You know, when I'm granting interviews like this, don't forget I'm human too.
Exactly.
You get some things where you go talk, I no go really get the time to explain them well. But there's a guy online also, even though the guy said I rubbish at the talk, there was something the guy said. The guy said I was talking rubbish, and he said something about seatbelt. And that way that guy talk, now true in talk. And what is it? See, some of these seatbelts, they are made before the car, which was what I said.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they put a tag on them. You understand?
Yeah.
And sometimes these dealers, you go see a lot of them, they also run around like rabbits for that post, you know, claiming we are good, we are okay. These dealers, they alter these things. If anybody can alter chassis number, wouldn't be seatbelt. So seatbelts are actually manufactured before the car comes out. But at the end of the day, they are going to put a print on it indicating the year of the car for some cars. But like I said, that shouldn't be an issue, okay? The issue is you want to see the history of a car. Color code, interior, the build sheet and everything. It is on the VIN number. All right, it is on the VIN number. When you go there and you see that it's been scratched or some hanky-panky has gone on, it means that something is fundamentally wrong with the car.
And on the VIN number, you wouldn't see like the kind of oil you should be using for the car. It's not stated there.
Well, the VIN number will show you the year of manufacture, the engine, where the car is coming from. Because not every car, you see, because BMW is from the German heritage, German mothership, does not mean that every BMW is from Germany. Most BMWs in Nigeria are not from Europe. They are America. And how do you know them? It's the ones that have both the kilometer and the mileage kind of inscriptions on their speed cluster. I will show you this with this BMW.
Okay.
But if you see anyone that has just kilometer on them, those ones are Europe. And that's practically what Koshari sells. Every part that Koshari is bringing to you is bringing Europe. I don't know if they have a special order where you can bring you the American spec, but it is Europe. If you're ordering parts, it is an European spec that will bring for you, because that's where BMW is from.
Wow.
All right?
Wow. You know, every driver that drive on the road right now, they have a preconception about every road user, depending on the type of car you drive. Yes. And I've made some research. There's one video I did, but we know that I post it. That BMW drivers are known for like no signal, no problem. They don't use the turn signal. They don't use anything signal. All they know is to pick up. Oh yeah, move. So
well, that claim is not true. Permit me to disagree with you. Not because it's just BMW. Okay, I rode to Benin just last week. I rode in and rode out of Benin just last week. And while on the highway with my bike, I noticed that a certain set of vehicles wants to chase me on a K1200S.
With your BMW.
You understand? That's one. Two, I also noticed most Nigerian drivers are driving on the highway and texting. So
everybody is guilty of it, and
just,
I'm sure you are.
Exactly, just because we are practically lawless here. So it's not that claim cannot be inscribed to just BMW drivers and kiniko. The only thing I can tell you about BMW drivers is that every time you pass them with a certain kind of speed, they feel triggered. They feel you're challenging them. Meanwhile, nobody send them. You will even pass them. You don't even see them. You go see that they will begin the one display for you. Say
the first
they drive a
driving machine. Saying something like this about BMW and its drivers.
No, that's the truth. That's the thing about BMW drivers. Once you pass them, they have a way of looking down at you, no matter the car you drive. Especially when you just glide past them.
BMW and Pride are like this.
Yeah, they tell you. You know, the moment you pass, all of a sudden you go see the BMW content speed come past you, like say, then will come look you like say you do something. Meanwhile, you don't even observe saying they there.
Yeah.
Yes, I will agree on that. But the issue of pointers and the rest of them, well, I don't understand it. But again, Amaka, you must understand that the BMW brands are designed for the drivers alone. Okay. When did they build BMW? I am sure if you look even from this one here, everything is the driver based, air conditioning, everything. Now the driver, they don't send you about the passenger. That's why if you sit in a BMW, you look at it, even the passenger side AC vent, now you still the face in a way until you start turning it. So it is designed for shared driving pleasure. It's just for the driver and not the passenger.
Thank you so very much, sir. I really, really do appreciate from the wealth of your knowledge. Like, it's a big book. I'm not gonna give you, especially the way you explain these headlights and all of that. Like the logic is,
like I said,
is mind blowing.
It's not mind blowing, Amaka. The reason why it's mind blowing is because it's one very tiny truth that is very critical, but yet it was hidden in a book. You know, I've always told you, once you want to keep the truth,
if you want to hide the truth from the black man,
keep an inside book. Okay, so Amaka, still on the battery issue, there's something I also want to mention here, and I just hope at the end of the day I don't get slaughtered for saying this. Do you know that in certain models of the BMW brand, well, I have noticed this. Like I said, most of my claims when I come here are not based on Google and YouTube.
It's based on personal experience.
It's based on personal experiences, okay? Because I've been in this business for quite a long time. Yeah. If you do something every day, and you are like probably 5 years or 4 years in it, you're no longer a child.
Exactly.
You understand? I drive a minimum of two cars per day, and the maximum of God knows how many. You understand? Per day.
Don't go now.
So most of the things that I say here are not based on Google. These are based on personal experience. There are certain BMWs that you must be very careful not to use very weak batteries, or batteries that are prone to load shedding on. For instance, a very bad battery or a seemingly bad battery can actually make your motor to jump timing.
Wow.
If I keep it right here and don't talk, they will come for me. So I'll keep it right here.
Keep it there.
Yeah, exactly. When you have a very poor battery or a battery that is seemingly bad in your BMW, in some models of the BMW, it can actually make your car to jump timing. Now, there is something I'm going to be explaining now, and I'm going to take you to this car as practical. There is something notorious about the BMW brand.
Okay.
And this thing is so bad that it doesn't matter whether you maintain your BMW. It doesn't matter whether you service your BMW. It doesn't matter whether you pay attention to every detail of the BMW. On a day it will happen. You will never know. And it's going to cost you a lot. And that is the BMW expansion tank. The BMW expansion tank. The BMW expansion tank is that place where you pour water, which other people call the radiator. If you notice, BMW in most models, they built that plastic container as black, meaning that you cannot see through to see the liquid inside. You can't even decipher the quantity of liquid inside. And you know, some BMW are actually...
All these things, is it also applicable to other cars or basically BMW?
Well, I wouldn't say about other cars, but I know for the German cars, the BMW particularly is there. And I think at this point, we need to move to this car so that I'll be able to point them to you one-on-one while I make this lecture properly.
We are ready for you, sir.
So I'm ready if you're ready. So, first and foremost, this car is the BMW 6 Series. Now, this car runs... Can we put up this engine, please? Yeah, somebody put it up.
Whoa. Where is the key?
Just press the button. There's a button. The start button. All right. Now, this car is 6 Series BMW.
Okay.
All right. It runs on the very unreliable V8 BMW engine, the N63 engine. However, there's something unique about this particular car right now. You know why? Because this so-called N63 that is, this car is housing is the reliable N63 engine. This is the updated one, which is called the TU. This one has been technically updated from BMW. This engine came out about 2008.
Okay.
And it was saddled and riddled with all manner of problems. This car has a valve stem seal problem. It has what is called a crankcase ventilation valve problem, rod bearings, everything. This engine, when it came out in 2008, was very unreliable. That's why it smokes at the slightest opportunity.
Like
it breaks down.
It's going very hot right now.
Yeah, of course, it's big. It smokes at the slightest opportunity. It packs up at the slightest opportunity. So BMW had to recall it and actually did what is called, they technically updated it. Technically updating means they had to visit those weak points on this engine and made it well. And that was when they came out with this particular one. So the owner of this car will probably be enjoying this engine now because this is the technically updated one. However, there is something that BMW does that is very notorious, and which is having the expansion tank, which is this guy.
Bring it closer.
Okay. This is an oil for the power steering, which is CHF and stuff. But I will tell you this is what the expansion tank looks like. You can see that it's black.
Yeah.
You can't even see through to know the liquid inside, whether it's gauged or not. All right. Now, this is what happens. It doesn't matter whether you're maintaining this car or not. This vehicle has what is called transmission cooler and also engine oil cooler. What happens is that engine oil comes out when it's hot on the engine. It comes out and goes through the cooler, goes through the radiator, and goes back through the engine. All right. The one from transmission will come out of the transmission, goes through the oil cooler, and oil cools, and it goes back to the radiator, goes through the radiator, and then back into the radiator. Now, most people are centered around making sure that every other components in this car are bad, but this guy, the coolers, this guy, because he's so black that you cannot see through, it is advisable to understand the service schedule, the service schedule dictated by BMW on the oil coolers. So when you look at your car as you speak, and that goes out to a lot of you out there who owns BMW, no matter how you think you probably would have been maintaining your BMW. If your vehicle is more than 100,000 kilometers, I think you need to start changing your oil coolers, your engine oil cooler and your transmission oil cooler. And if you don't, this is what happens. Once the transmission oil cooler is bad or the engine oil cooler is bad, on a day you will not know.
You never expect it.
Yeah, you never expect it. And once it's bad, you will never know because, of course, this guy is black.
Yeah.
So oil will start to mix with water. Either if it's the transmission oil cooler that is bad, the engine oil will start to mix with water. So when you open the radiator oil cap, you will see traces of oil. Now, for you to know whether it's engine oil or transmission, if you open the engine oil, you will see water in the engine. But sometimes it will not show. And if it's transmission, because it's still very in a minor stage, you will not know. And sometimes the only time you know is when your transmission starts selecting or your engine packs up. So anytime you open, periodically, if you've not done that, open your expansion tank and check. If you see traces of oil, no matter how small, you need to start calling your mechanic, because if it's transmission cooler, it's going to mix oil with the transmission and your transmission will pack up. Then for some of you that uses the E60, the E90 and the 5th generation of the 5 series, you are lucky, because even when it mixes water, at least the car can travel from the way all the way from Ore to Lagos before you change the gearbox. And once that happens, whether your gearbox is bad or not, there is nothing you can do. You cannot flush water out of the gearbox. What you do is total replacement of the gearbox, total replacement of the oil cooler, total replacement of the cooler, total replacement of the pipes, and then some of the components that the water has damaged. So it is very, very key that you change your transmission cooler and your engine oil cooler periodically. Don't forget, do not buy the Ladipo brand new, because it will fail in no time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I know you guys learned a lot today, especially on that headlight. Like the controversies, like it's just too much, and this solves it all. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you,
Amaka. Thank you. Thank you for some of you that are out there who has actually contributed immensely to the last post where I was almost slaughtered. I want to thank you guys for being there.
Thank you for having a thick skin.
Another thing again, like I said, from the time that this new post will break, we'll start giving out octane and valve clean, courtesy Cars at Rest and JD Autos, to loads and loads of you customers out there who are actually making use of your brains. Once again, thank you. It's my world, it's my passion, it's my BMW. God bless you all.
Thank you.